Compared to the rest of the country, San Diego's cost of living is about 43% higher than the U.S. average. But there's a lot more to being poor than lack of money. Tess Vigeland, host of Marketplace Money, which airs on KPBS radio Saturday afternoons, has a series of reports on the tough choices the poor face in San Diego. Tess, thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure, Peggy.
Why did you choose San Diego for a place to do this economy series?
Well, because I think when people think of San Diego, they don't necessarily think of poverty, at least on the national level. You think of places like the Hotel Del in Coronado and La Jolla and, some of the other wealthy places in the city. But as a matter of fact, San Diego County actually is 15% of its population lives in poverty, and that directly mirrors the national average. And so we thought, what better place to go and try to maybe dispel some of the myths about rich versus poor than San Diego.
What neighborhoods did you visit?
We mostly spent our time in City Heights and visited with 3 different families, all living at or under the national poverty level, and just tried to get a sense from them of what it's like to try to live on such a small amount of money with large families, particularly in an economy that is not really being kind to anyone at this point.
What were some of their personal financial decisions that they were talking about, these trade-off decisions that they have to make on a daily basis?
Well, it really comes down to choosing between basics. Are you going to pay for food for the day, or are you going to gas up your car? That's assuming that you even have a car, which one of these families, a family of 6, did not have a car. You're making decisions about, how to go to the grocery store with $20 and feed a family of 6 all day. So that's breakfast, that's lunch, that's dinner.
That's got to put some stress on making these psychologically. I know there's research. Yes. What did you discover there as far as living in poverty and making these types of decisions constantly?
It takes a huge toll. A lot of our self-worth, our self-image is wrapped up in what we're able to provide, not just for ourselves, but for our family and for our neighbors. And when you're struggling on a daily basis to put food on the table, it just has a real effect on how you think about yourself and how you think about life and how you think about opportunity. Even in this country, this wealthy country, where we grow up with this notion that anything is possible, when you're living in poverty for years on end, it's hard to see that that's available to you.
What about this? I often hear people complain. Well, we heard in Tom Fudge's report,
yes.
You can't be poor, you have a cell phone, or you can't
Right.
be poor, you live in America and have a refrigerator. Are the poor judged more harshly than everyone else?
Absolutely. We all make decisions at the grocery store, right? Whether, no matter where you are on the income scale. But when the poor make decisions, if you have a cell phone and yet you're complaining about only having $20 a day for groceries, well, why do you have a cell phone? But we live in a modern society, and I don't know that we can expect those in poverty to simply just exist in a different level of modern society. And it's hard to do anything without a cell phone in this day and age.
Yeah, it's not comparing apples and oranges, certainly.
It really isn't.
Let me ask you, what did you see here in San Diego specifically that offered some hope? Are people able to move up? Did you see anything here?
Yes, absolutely. One of the families that we profile is a single mother who exited an abusive relationship some years ago and was able to save what may sound like not a lot of money, but $80 a month for 7 years, and was finally able to recently purchase her own home. We also profiled a young man, a gentleman, 18 years old. Family came from Mexico, and he's the first to go to college. He's got a full ride from the Gates Foundation to UCSB. So that there are good stories coming out of it, and again, I think that anyone in that situation is always looking to try to get out.
And it seems to be some opportunities. We'll look
Exactly.
forward to hearing them on your series. Tess Vigeland, host of Marketplace Money, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Peggy.